All right, folks, good evening. Welcome to another date. It's a Friday. Welcome to another date on the Journalist Hangout, where members of the Fourth Estate meet and discuss ideas. I am Citizen Jones. Today on the program, Labour Minister says no funds to meet ASUU demands as federal government reconstitutes team to renegotiate 2009 agreement. Abba Kyari faces dismissal by police as NDLEA finally files charges against him, I should say. And later on, the DSS warns that ISWAP fighters are training suicide bombers to attack security agents and communities. Let me report, I'm hanging out with Bola Olajuwon. Bola, I greet you, good evening to you.
Thank
and
you
of
so
course, Emeka, Madunagu, I greet you too.
Yeah.
So the
Good
team
evening,
is ready. I hope you are too. Let's go. Okay, our first story. You know, these are indeed lean times for the federal government of Nigeria. Labor and Employment Minister Dr. Chris Ngige said this much. The minister made the revelation in a chat during an interview with a sister TV station on Thursday. Consequently, the federal government does not have funds to meet the demands of striking Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU. Dr. Ngige remarked that the Jonathan government promised 1.3 trillion naira, that's a revitalization fund, to ASUU in 2009. At that time, the country's finances were stable, according to the minister. Now, 200 billion naira was paid by the government at the time. Another committee has been constituted by the Ministry of Education just to renegotiate the 2009 agreement. It appears, Bola, we are still a long, long way from home.
Oh, we are very much a long way to really dealing with the issue at hand. Basically, you see, I know that a government is a continuum. And in as much as the fact that a government is a continuum, every government should be able, you know, to abide with the tenets of agreements that the government that handed over power to it actually agreed upon. But basically, you see, education should be, according to the Constitution, should be justice-able. Yeah. And the fact that the federal government should be able to spend and fund education at all levels. But what happened? The Constitution said, no, it's not, it can never happen. It can never happen. Because if government should spend all the money that it has in its cover on education alone, there will be a problem for other sectors. But that is against the tenets of the Constitution. And the fact that if that aspect of the Constitution is not applicable, is not implementable, I think as at now, they are doing constitutional review. They should be able to tackle that aspect. You will see that they won't tackle it. That place will still be there. And then every now and then...
But that's a little curious because members of the National Assembly are educated. They went to school.
Now, look at it. You see, it was quite unfortunate too that the Jonathan administration agreed on 1.3 billion.
No, trillion.
Yeah, oh, sorry, trillion. Yeah. where I don't know about 1 million. I've never had it in my account before. Maybe that is the policy.
Come on.
I'm looking at it from the perspective
you are being ambitious.
Well, I hope that one day I will sign
1.3 trillion.
1.3 trillion.
If the trillion enters your account, the alert will be something
else. I will
else.
die. I'm telling you.
No, you won't.
Emeka, let's save it. But seriously speaking, it has taken 13 years.
Yeah.
That's what is even more benumbing on the matter. It has taken 13 years for the Minister of Labor to divulge this information. And so the back and forth thing was avoidable.
It's unfortunate that the person who was Minister of State for Education, you know, at the time the agreement was signed, Wike, is the governor of Rivers State.
Yeah.
And in a system, in a setting where politicians are interested in serving the people, I think he should have been brought on board the negotiation. Then why did it take the Buhari administration 7 years to realize that he cannot meet the demands, that he needs to renegotiate the agreement?
But,
and
but
then,
remember a memorandum of
understanding. Yes.
no agreement.
Yes.
Another memorandum, MOA, was signed with the same ASUU.
Yes.
So he talked about government being a continuum, and so
that was in 2009.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Then another government was in power. By 2015, Muhammadu Buhari became the president of Nigeria. I think at that point,
an agreement was pending.
at that point, yes, an agreement, not just the agreement with ASUU, with different labor organizations.
Yeah.
The administration should have sat down to renegotiate all these things. I had said it a number of times here, that you see, the government, this kind of administration likes to play this very nice game of pushing responsibility to previous administrations, as if it is unable to state its own side of the story. That's why you see when there's fuel scarcity, you hear, instead of telling us we are taking 1, 2, 3 steps, they are telling you that it's not as bad as it was in the past. Who is interested in that?
Yeah.
Nobody is interested in that. Everybody is interested in ensuring that their children return to school. Nobody is interested in whether Jonathan negotiated the entire treasury, away to ASUU and all that. You have had 7 good years to say, okay, this agreement, we need to take a good look at it. You need to take another look at it so that we can find common ground. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has convened a meeting on this matter. But you are looking for convenient excuses. Now, let me say one interesting thing. You can borrow money to fund railway. You can borrow money to build roads. Why is it difficult to borrow money to fund education?
Bola money came from somewhere to fund the subsidy.
Okay.
Even debt servicing.
That's and we had the education wahala on the floor.
You see, I just believe that is the focus of the government or the people in power that will manifest in the action they will take. And the focus of the people is not indeed, I'm saying it categorically here, is not indeed to fund education, to make education an experience, a positive experience, impactful experience for the people of Nigeria, for the young generation of Nigeria.
The United Nations
UNESCO 26%.
UNESCO rather recommends 24% of your national budget.
26. Yes.
26 to go into
yearly budget
funding
education. The fact that
nobody says we must meet the 26, but let's get somewhere.
Yes. You see,
we haven't hit 20 yet.
No. It's not possible. It's not possible, and I don't see. I'm sorry to say, in my lifetime, I don't see the government, Nigerian government, meeting even 20% of it. Why? Because the focus is not there. And we will continue to have the situation that we are having now. It's not necessarily because of the dislocation in the education program and calendar.
Yeah.
You see our children going to places like Ukraine to study. Cyprus, Poland, Bulgaria. And that is why we are rushing everywhere now to go and take them home.
Yeah.
That is what...
But it's not a bad thing to read.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. But let me now tell you. You see, I'm a managerial psychologist. Okay? Education, apart from, applying knowledge, impacting knowledge, teaching people knowledge and wisdom, is also character. Then all these people who go to countries, they will bring their character and customs. And that is why we have dislocation that we're having in terms of cultural, integration. They bring their own idea. You understand me? That is why, will go, somebody from reasonable home will go down there, meet another client, think that, that is what the world is all about. They come down here and they start practicing that,
Emeka, Now, you're seeing every fault belongs to the federal government. You don't see any fault with ASUU on its part?
ASUU has always been willing to negotiate. What I'm saying is this. If you recall, sometime last year, the National Assembly said it was willing to approve a loan for INEC to monitor primaries of political parties. It was a record. It was reported. Now, if the interest of the government is usually elections, if INEC asks for 1 trillion to conduct elections, government will find a way to provide that 1 trillion, because that is where the interest of our leaders lies, about elections, winning elections. But talking about education, they cannot...
But elections will guarantee the continuity of government.
But education will safeguard and preserve the society into generations to come.
But governments cannot wait, or can they?
You see, education, it's even worse that education cannot wait. Because the more you keep our children at home, the longer you keep them at home,
I agree.
The worse it gets for us. So for me, I believe government should look for money. You got money to fund. Look at the debts owed by states. What are they spending them on? Projects that have no value, little value or little impact on the people. I believe government should sit down. The federal government should sit down with the state government and just tell themselves the truth. We need to go and look for money. Find money anywhere. If we go and borrow money, I'm coming. If we can prioritize borrowing to run railway to Maradi, Niger State, we cannot prioritize
Niger State.
Niger Republic. Niger Republic. You cannot prioritize looking for money one way or the other to ensure that the universities are up and running and their academic calendar is not disrupted. Then I want to tell you, where does your focus lie?
Bola, these are crazy times for parents, for students, and what have you. I'm looking for a middle ground for both parties. They must meet somewhere, because it cannot continue like this. And Nigerians are becoming dog-tired of strike actions, because it appears strike is perhaps the only way of fighting
force
back.
The government to do. You see, the issue is this. First, if I know that the ASUU executives are educated, bring out the figures, how much you are generating, how much you've been spending on each aspect of governance or sectors. Tell them, debate this thing, iron it out. And I said that I'm not an apostle of unnecessary borrowing.
If you don't have any skeleton in the cupboard,
in the cupboard,
come to the open.
Yes, tell them. But the truth of the matter is this: I'm not an apostle of borrowing. But the fact
said unnecessary borrowing.
Unnecessary borrowing.
I'll wait for you there.
And I will tell you,
every government borrows.
Even the American government, the British government, all of them. Now, let me tell you, they should cut governance.
The cost of governance.
The cost of governance in this country is too much. If they cut governance cost, we should be able to save to implement not only education, other sector, because the money, we have the money. And aside that, you see, the fact we've been talking of corruption, we've been talking illicit financial flow in this country. All these things are still going on. Under the same government, people are not paying the tax they're supposed to pay. Multinationals are not paying. And I can still tell you, all multinationals, they are taking our product to other countries. They are selling. They are not remitting the money to us. I'm telling you, they still have the audacity to even say they will go to court. When they show them that, look, on so date, you took this product to this terminal, you sold it to so people, and they paid, to your account so amount of. They're still debating it. What is happening in this country? That means, are we fools?
Bola, you are hurt.
That's why I
can
said
see you are hurt.
Government should look for money. If you are renegotiating, but you see, renegotiating to what? To the past or to the future? That's why I said government should somehow find money to fund education. Whenever there are issues that government needs to find money, government finds a way to find money. Government has a way of finding money. If it is borrowing, fine. If it is cutting certain subheads in the budget. Environment, if it's environment, and you fund education robustly. You see, we can't be pumping money into building more prisons, buying guns, buying all kinds of, buying all kinds of offensive weapons to equip the police, the correctional centers, the military, and all of that. And we are not ensuring that the source.
So the impression is created that government itself is cherry picking what issues to deal with.
The government can do better. Yes, it has said it is interested in negotiating with ASUU or in renegotiating with ASUU. That is where we are right now. Fine. And even the money ASUU is talking about is not money that ASUU says pay into our bank accounts. All of the money will not even go to,
so the quarrel with IPISS
is part of it. All of those things are there.
Accountability.
A lot of things are there, and people are knowledgeable about the running of educational systems around the world. I've come out to tell government, this IPPIS, you need to take another look at it. Even the registrar of JAM has come out to say that this thing cannot work. He said he's not a fan of ASUU, but that this IPPS cannot work for universities. Review it. So if somebody like that who has been a vice chancellor will come out to say so, and you are saying you are negotiating with ASUU, are you now going to tell ASUU, okay, please accept IPPS that was not there as at 2009? Are you going to say, okay, that you will not fund the universities? Are you going to say that you will not upgrade education? Whereas many countries around the world now see education as a major export commodity. They see education as something that yields so much money. Look, go and find out how much the United Kingdom is making from education. You are talking of Ukraine. 4,000 Nigerian students in Ukraine. Tell me, UNILAG, how many students do they have? So when you remove 4,000, if you remove 4,000 students from an institution like UNILAG, regular students, you know what that means. But you have that 4,000 in Ukraine. We're not talking about those in other countries, even in Benin Republic, in Togo, in Ghana. And it's not as if we cannot, Nigerian education cannot be upgraded to global standards such that people from other parts of the world will be rushing to Nigeria. I think we need to tell ourselves the truth. Government can and should do better than one is doing.
Because it can. Bola, they say the problem with the youth will be restraint, a lack of restraint, and with those in government, intemperance. So when the youth lack restraint and the elderly, those in government lack temperance, something is bound to give.
Yes.
That's why in the video that was viral, you saw a walkout by minister. I thought things like that will exacerbate, will make the matters on the floor even more dangerous.
Yeah, that is what is, that was the main reason that the minister called them back now. I think he called them back and he later addressed them. You see, he shouldn't have even done that. It was an opportunity for him.
So I don't have children.
To use his wisdom, to come down to their level, to discuss with them and buy them over that this is what we are doing. It's not that, we just felt that, we want to neglect you so that you can be doing some other things like involving yourself in Yahoo,
all right.
and other, menace that's, are rampant now.
All right, Bola, we have Tunde calling us from Kaduna. Tunde, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir.
Yeah, let's go.
Please, I want to ask now, what is the present agreement or the status of the ASUU in respect to what the Minister of Education is saying?
Did I get the question?
Yeah, he said what's the position right now.
Okay.
The position is that the government is saying that that's confirmed by the Minister of Labour, because that's the latest position of government, that it doesn't have the money to meet ASUU's demands. And so
the Minister of Labour categorically said government was broke.
Yes. Well, is government broke? They will deny it again. They will tell you they are not broke.
No, that
but that they
the
need
Minister
more
of
revenue. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But the Minister of Finance will not agree with that government is broke. So the point is this. Government says it wants to renegotiate the 2009 agreement. We want to see action.
Okay. Again, let the debate about the matter continue, but at this end, what we see here is not necessarily the last word on the matter, so we go to our next story. You know, the saga of Abba Kyari, a once heroic police officer who caught the attention of the Inspector General, is becoming more degenerate. The SY Super Cup has drawn the ire of the Police Service Commission, the PSC, and authorities of the Nigerian police. So the indication is that an outright dismissal of a once ebullient officer is on the cards. So whereas the federal government has okayed the extradition of Abba Kyari to the US so as to clear his name, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has filed an 8-count charge against him and 6 others. His employers are said to have given him 48 hours to explain his involvement in the hard drug case. There are no rules about living as you choose, Emeka, but those rules you make for yourself. But then before we go into it, let us take a commercial break. We'll be back, please. Oh yes, Emeka, we were talking about Abba Kyari.
Abba Kyari, yes.
Your one-time heroic
Super
cop.
Yeah. Mm. Well, what I believe is that he still is, according to the law, is innocent, until proven guilty.
Guilty.
He's still an accused person, well, by virtue of the filing of charges against him by NDLEA. But generally he's still a suspect, So I hope the federal government will hasten his extradition to the United States to go and stand trial. I'm looking at it that there are 2 possibilities. The NDLEA might decide to try him in absentia, maybe up to a point, or ask the court to stand down the case, or maybe his lawyers might ask the court to stand down the case to enable him to conclude with the US angle. But based on the things listed against him in terms of the US case, I don't know when he's likely to be free and able to come back to Nigeria to defend himself against the NDLEA.
You can be sure that the wheel of justice in the US is not as tedious as ours here.
Yes, but the charges, he contested the charges. I want to believe that he gave it serious thought. He gave serious thought to the weight of those charges, unless he was just playing to the gallery. Because everything he posted on Facebook and here and there, statements here and there, I believe the prosecutors in the US will have all those things. And I hope he will plead all those things in court. Otherwise, he would have ended up just giving them ammunition to finish him.
Yeah.
So I hope right now he knows that definitely he's going to be shipped to the US. He's going to be flown to the US to face trial. And then the NDLEA angle is also there. And it's an international case, Brazil, Ethiopia, Nigeria. I don't know if those other countries might be interested. Brazil or Ethiopia might also be interested in the matter.
Might be interested parties.
Yeah, might also be interested in getting him extradited to their countries in respect of those charges. Yes, because that is a major drug route. It's a major, you heard what the NDLEA spokesman says, it's a major Brazil, Ethiopia, Nigeria, it's a major drug route. And so even the United States will be, I believe they will be taking a close look at this case, that what is going on. So we wait and see how things progress. So I don't want to say anything about his integrity of character, because
you are not passing moral judgment here.
No, of course. But you see, a lot of it has happened. You've seen a lot of it in the public space, that he was this and all of that. Let the courts decide. Let the courts decide at the end of the day. But we wait and see how things turn out.
Bola, but the US would not start a music it will not bring to an end.
Yes.
They would have investigated him, in a subtle manner, blow by blow.
Yes. Before
they demanded for his extradition.
Yes. Yes.
But again, the NDLEA angle is not giving us anything to cheer.
Okay, you see, everything is a process. okay, asking for him to be extradited, you know, to the US. It's a process. It may not conclude in the next 10 years if the guy wants to do it. Okay, look at the case of the late Senator Burije Kashem. It was there from one court to the other, from one court to the other. Okay, this
in our country.
In our country. It's a process. Look, this thing will go from High Court to Court of Appeal, from Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. If the guy wants to contest it, even the case against him, in respect of the 8 charges leveled against him by the NDLEA, the guy can still contest it. And you see, I'm not saying that he has the armament. I'm not saying that he has the fund. But if the people that, you know, maybe his people, his state governments, the northern friends, his friend want to say, we want to start by you. I'm telling you, my brother, it will take a long process. Okay? But the issue is this. Instead of, if the guy really believed that, look, these are issues that he actually participated in, and there are real allegations against him. You know, the issue in the US is just for 2 years. Look at the angle that, you know, my brother painted, the angle of Ethiopia government, Brazil government. You see, the issue is this, even international police organization may even ask him. Okay, Nigeria, United Nations Drug Office may even ask him, because the focus now is not necessarily on cartels, an issue of drug smuggling. The issue now is that, look, what Interpol is now saying, which I did a special report on, and it came out about 2 weeks ago, is that, look, these people have really bought into government in West Africa.
Who are these people?
Yes, the cartel, the drug cartels. They've really bought that, look, they are ready to take over the government. They are going after the people in power who can really carry weight, and then, you know, assist them in smuggling in their business. And we have 2 major routes in Africa. And that was the main reason that Guinea-Bissau president said, these people came after me because I was fighting them. And then they said 2 routes. The first route is that, look, Guinea-Bissau area, and then Benin Republic Bright. That means between
the Bight of Benin and Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah, Guinea-Bissau. No, 2. Okay, the side of Guinea-Bissau, and then the side of Bight of Benin. That means including Nigeria and Ghana. And then they said when these people land like that, you understand me? They use the weak enforcement
of law agencies.
Yes, agencies. They use them, then they will break, you know, their business into portions. They can fly them, they can use them to enter into countries. And that is the more reason we have issue of tramadol and others.
Emeka, the danger here is that chiefly the young population in Nigeria has become enmeshed in this hard drugs and substance abuse.
It's really bad.
Which is the bigger problem we have to fight. It is worse than Boko Haram.
It's really bad. But it's one of the things fueling Boko Haram, fueling ISWAP and the so-called bandits. It's one of the things, because when they take these substances, it turns them into monsters. For those who can...
They fear no foe.
For those who can afford to get cocaine, fine. Heroin, fine. Tramadol, codeine. Those who can't afford to get all those substances, they look for local mixtures. They look for local
Emeka, sorry. There's a Kennedy joining us from Jalingo. Jalingo is up north. Adamawa State, right. Okay. Kennedy, Taraba.
Okay, Taraba.
Yeah, citizen.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, good evening. Jalingo is the capital of
Taraba State.
We corrected ourselves. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just chip in on your first issue. You see, citizens, we just have to tell ourselves the truth. There is a proverb that said, an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Absolutely.
Keeping our students at home, we are sitting down on a keg of rum. My brothers, if the Nigerian education system is good. There's no way you find about 4,000 or 5,000 Nigerians schooling in far away Ukraine. Now, let's keep that aside. On the issue of Abba Kyari, I smell a Nigerian movie, part 1, trying to act. Do you know why I'm saying this? Why must the NDLEA actually wait until the United States actually indicted this man before they will now raise up a case against him? You see, if we are not careful in this country, may God help us. But our leaders are not helping matters. God bless you, and God bless you, and God bless your.
Thank you very much.
Kennedy, many thanks. You know, so that's what we're saying. He has just added the other angle.
The twist, yeah,
keeping students at home.
That is so
avoidably.
bad. Avoidably. That's why I said government should look for money anyway. If elections were to hold tomorrow, now INEC has not submitted his budget for the next year's.
They are working on this.
But the budget will be, if I to sail through the National Assembly, it won't even go.
They will add to it.
It will sail, and they will add to it.
They will
so
add to the money.
Let's leave that by. It's a matter of priority. So in terms of drug abuse, it's a major problem.
And substance abuse.
Substance abuse is a major problem. The way people mix cough syrups and all kinds of things, gum, all sorts of things. Lizard excreta from lizards, or different kinds of things.
Do you know some of these things are unspoken? You are wondering how they work.
But they are real. So parents are advised to look very closely at their children. They should take a very good look at their children. They should counsel their children, because drug abuse is a deadly thing. It destroys an individual. It's difficult to really recover somebody who has been damaged, totally recover somebody who has been damaged by drugs. And not to talk of the damage to the internal organs.
Yeah.
So we should stop this phony politics. I don't understand why NDLEA had to file this 8-count charge. When the federal government had concluded the extradition process, what are you filing again? What are you filing again? Or is it in anticipation of what my colleague said, that Abba Kyari might fight the extradition? So, okay, if he decides to fight the extradition, let's keep him busy somehow.
What even about the idea of removing him from the police force?
Well, the police has they have their procedures. The Nigerian police, has its procedures. So, of course, it's on suspension. Definitely, if the police can say it has built a strong case against him, I mean, they can be justifiably said to be in order in terms of talking about getting him dismissed, because in serious nations, the mere fact of your indictment is a serious matter.
In fact,
like
you resigned before they even get to you.
Like one of my former bosses will say that the whiff, just the whiff, the smell of you getting enmeshed in such a thing is bad enough. So trying to defend it and all of that is just the typical Nigerian way of doing things.
All right, we'll take a breather here. We'll go on a commercial break. We should be back. Please don't go away. All right, folks, to our last story of the evening. Insecurity in our country sends alarm all over the place. When security experts meet to talk security masters, then every listening ear is infatuated with the fine details. The director of the Department of State Services, DSS, in Adamawa State says the Islamic State in West Africa province, ISWAP, is training its members to attack security agencies in the Northeast. The revelation came on Thursday during a quarterly conference meeting of state directors of security agencies in the Northeast region. Now, recent counter-terrorism operations by our security forces may have hurt the terrorists somewhat, but ISWAP fighters are upping the ante by training suicide bombers to target vulnerable communities. Bola, at least we are put on notice.
Okay. Yes, we are put on notice. But before the announcement, have they taken action to nip in the bud those moves to train this suicide bomber or training of this suicide bomber? Okay, now, you see the issue is this. when we discover issues, we announce. If they want to attack tomorrow, we are moving to attack them. The president will say that I'm giving you order. The Inspector General of Police, the Army Chief of Staff, the Air Force Chief of Staff, go to the North Seas, make sure that you deal with them. Then these people will scamper to safety. Then they move to other areas to start, their onslaught. The issue is this: the State Security Service, have they done their job? Have they arrested these people? But just telling us.
The man in Adamawa has just told us.
Yes. You know that.
Telling us is not the problem.
Okay, you see, telling us is not the problem. But the problem is this.
How to deal with what he has told us.
See, the governor, the Niger State governor, he came and he said it. He said, terrorists, they are already in my territory, my domain. You understand me? They said no. Then later, the man recanted what he said. But we saw what happened. And that was how those people started having bases in Niger State. Moving from Kaduna to Niger State. And you see, if these people are in Kaduna, they are in Niger State, how many minutes will it take them to move to Abuja, the seat of power, and start attacking? Now, we have the case of, Adamawa now. The issue is not announcing, please, this is the just. The issue is tackling it, arresting the people, going to their base or bases where they are training the supposed suicide bombers, arresting them, tackling them, getting their financiers, those people sponsoring them, arresting all of them. You see, I just believe it's not necessarily to announce. The job of State Security Service is not necessarily just to announce. What we want is this. CIA, KGB, M15, they will tell you, this is what we've done, this is what we discover, and we've killed some of these people. The mastermind, we went after them, and we've killed them. And that is what, I want the DSS to be doing. Not necessarily just to, alert us.
Emeka, you are wondering, after listening to him, if he would be a good DSS material, I'm not asking the DSS to tell us what it is about to do, but it has given us information. It's more like putting us on notice, as I said.
Yeah, I want to believe that it came out of the ramped-up interagency collaboration. But that's been a major problem in the fight against insurgency. Agencies working on their own. So I want to believe that the DSS had already discussed this with the military before coming out to inform Nigerians, and that action is being taken on this threat. If you remember at the time, it was a major problem. Suicide bombers everywhere, different types, male, female, children.
Unheard of in our territory?
All kinds, yes. Even up to Abuja, the UN building, the police headquarters, and churches and different places, markets. So we need a more robust engagement, concerning the security services. They should get more involved in working as one, synergizing to curb threats. So just like my colleague said, before announcing it, I believe they must have moved to neutralize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of such persons, so that we make our country safer. Of course, you know that ISWAP is a foreign terrorist organization.
I hear it's the new threat from them is coming from the Wahala it is getting in Mali.
Yes. Definitely, we need to work harder to make sure that this threat doesn't materialize at all. They are working. The ISWAP has been doing all it can to take over control of that area from Boko Haram. They've been engaged.
But what Bola said is instructive. In security matters, there are certain things you don't discuss in the open.
No, I have nothing against it. For what reason? That the DSS, I believe, was also trying to get the assistance of members of the public to help it with information, and to also put the public on notice, so that they are not taken unawares by these criminals. These people are sophisticated terrorists. So definitely, you don't even know when they are planning the first attack. So I believe that, that's why I said I want to believe that the DSS and sister security agencies would have started working on the ground before this announcement. So getting the people, getting the public, I believe announcing is a way of getting the public to buy into the move to counter these terrorists.
Bola, but this provokes the age-old question of volunteering information. Nigerians hardly want to volunteer information because they are not too sure.
Yes. You see,
after you volunteer the information, what happens?
Okay, you see, like in the Northeast, some people volunteer informations. But at the end of the day, these insurgents or so-called terrorists, they came after them.
They're not so-called though.
I want to believe, because I've not seen any before.
Okay,
and I
you are looking for one.
I don't pray.
Okay.
I don't pray for any. You see, the issue is this. Sometimes when they volunteer information to security agents, okay, let's say police or policemen, okay, these policemen will end up, informing the so-called terrorists or insurgents that so person
gave us info about you.
And you see, like some traditional...
This is not to say even the police is secure.
No, the police is not even secure in this case. And then they will go after the so-called traditional rulers, informants, and then they deal with them, they neutralize them. Then do you now expect member of their family that saw them that you were the one that went to police to tell, okay, we'll deal with you, we'll kill you today. They killed the person. Okay, you now expect the family member to volunteer information to the police again or security agent that it was indeed true that he was killed by insurgent because of volunteer. They won't talk because they knew that, look, that will be their own demise too.
Yeah.
Now, you see, the issue is this. We've seen so much abductions, kidnapping in this country. These people are not ghosts. We've been saying it on this program. You see that it's not even 5 kilometers. It's not 10 kilometers. They will come to one school, they had together, those pupils, then they take them for almost 10 kilometers through communities. Nobody will call the police. I think something is wrong with us. I'm telling you, something is wrong with us. Whether they will kill us, they won't kill us. Then, is it not possible for us to use our phone? Then, you do it anonymously, not showing your name.
But do you know that, Emeka, but do you know there's one ugly trend in the country? A Nigerian is witnessing a crime, rather than do something to help, he is interested in what Bola is saying. Yeah. Take photographs and so on. Being the first to come out with it.
For likes and retweets online.
All right, I hear we must go, but let's thank Bola Olajuwon for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and no less so, Emeka Madunagu.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Emeka's state is getting set for a new government.
Yes. Right. And you can see the man is maybe want to join the government.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, so we are done for today. So if you missed this broadcast, never mind. There's a chance at 11 tonight for a repeat. Join us on Sunday, though, for a fresh edition, 2 hours of Journalist Hangout. And we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Usain. Bye-bye for now.